So, for you, what was the actual, like, if you don't mind just going more in depth in terms of, like, just the steps that you took in terms of, like, I reached out to this person, then I reached out to this person, and then I talked to the basement theater, and then all of those things.
So I think
the little stuff, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I started the year that my goal was to record a comedy album. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't know who I was going to do it with. I didn't know where I was going to do it. But I set a goal that I want to record a comedy album this year, and then just kind of left it at that for a while. And then slowly I just started telling people, yeah, I'm recording an album this year. I'm recording an album this year, just to try to hold myself accountable to do it. And then the first step, I think, was actually, okay, where would I want to record it? And I went to different venues, and I was like, maybe I could do it here, maybe there. But then I remembered, I was like, oh, Basement Theater. I think I ended up doing a graduation show at Basement Theater. And then I was like, oh, this is the first place to ever headline me. This would be the perfect place. So boom, I kind of fell into just, as you see what you're looking for. So I was looking for a venue, and I eventually saw it. And then I was looking for an audio engineer. Ended up we were on the same project, and then boom, met the audio engineer that way. But it kind of pieced itself together, maybe like venue, audio engineer, and then like video guy. And then marketing to make sure it sells out so there's people there.
Right.
Which that was all hands on deck. If you've ever known the name Joel Byars, come out. Don't make me have a half full room for my comedy special type, like family, friends. I had my best friend from high school, Stephen Fine. He's a director out in L.A. now, and just released a movie on Netflix called Love Shot. It's very good, but I had to have him. I helped him with his movie, and I was like, I have to have him at least in the room. So he came in from L.A. He was one of the camera operators, and he actually told some family friends. He ended up bringing like 8 people.
Wow. Okay.
Just because that were family friends. So the marketing was just like, who all do I know? This is 10 years in the making. What is every connection I've made? And it all accumulated to like a sold out show. I think the capacity of the venue is maybe like 60. We maybe squeezed like 65 in there maybe. But it really was just the marketing, also giving myself enough runway. I didn't promote the week of. I was like, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. And then it sold out maybe the night before is when it officially sold out. But it was just staying top of mind to people, letting people know this is happening, this is happening, this is happening, and don't forget this is happening, this is important, and just staying top of mind. We're on social media all the time, we see so many different things happening, so the more top of mind you can be for people, the more relevant and the more likely they're going to be to like act on what you ask them to do.
Okay. And then I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but going back to sort of the just actual putting the jokes together for the special. And you said just sort of beginning of this year, you were like, I want to do a comedy special. Or I guess last year, 2019?
2019, yeah.
Beginning of 2019, you were like, I just want to do a special or a album. I just want to put the product out there. And what made you go, now's the time?
Well, it was 10 years into my career, and I was thinking, I really reflected, and this last year was the first year I set goals. Really, comedian Tyler Chronicles, are you familiar with him? So he's been on the podcast twice, and he's the first comic that I talked to who was like, I have a vision board, I have goals, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I interviewed him again the next year, all those goals came true. And I was like, oh, there may be something to like having a plan and then like seeing it through. So last year was my first time doing it. So the album was just like, hey, I mean, what is your goal in comedy? Like I said, I used to teach comedy classes, but then I saw a very clear path. I was like, okay, if I want to keep teaching comedy classes, there's a very clear path that will become my job. I will be teaching comedy for a living instead of doing comedy for a living. And I asked myself, I was like, did you start comedy to teach comedy or to become a great comedian? And as soon as I took a step back and was like, oh, I started comedy to be a great comedian, it's almost like the veil, kind of like when you first do comedy and you're like, oh, that's what I was born to do.
Yeah.
And then like 9 years into comedy, I'm like, wait, why did I start comedy? Oh, that's right, to be a great comedian. So as soon as I shifted my perspective into just being a great comedian, all my focus went on to, okay, what do great comedians have? Great comedians have tours. Great comedians have an album. Great comedians have a special. So it really all started with, like, what do I want in comedy? What do I want to achieve? Why did I start? And the album was, like, the most kind of top of mind thing. And I knew at 10 years, it would be kind of a good, I don't know, what do they call them? Like benchmarks? Or it'd be kind of a good just kind of flag to plant on my 10-year anniversary. This is my 10 years of hard work. And now I can almost start fresh for my next decade in comedy. Because a lot of the jokes, I mean, I'm very proud of the writing, and it tells a good story, and it is personal material. But I am now excited to be like, okay, cool. You spent 10 years writing an hour. What you got now, buddy? Starting all the way over. Because that's what I want to do, is kind of use this as like a diving board into like the deep end of stand-up. And it's like, all right, you've been doing this 10 years. How are you going to do stand-up without all your weapons? It's an exciting time.
All right. That was like all the prepared stuff that I had.
Yeah.
I don't know if you just want to talk about comedy in general, or if you want to just do just like what the overall state of comedy.
The state of affairs?
You know, I just feel like people are so offended these days. I just feel like everyone's a little too PC. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Hashtags. We're just going to start a hashtag Get Your Comedy Grind in here. But it really, you know what?
Deep thoughts.
It is interesting on like the state of comedy. I feel like more than ever, it's possible for us all to create our own success. Even if we're looking at someone like, someone who's like like a Bert Kreischer. This is a guy, 20, 25 years in comedy, he just did it, just built it up from the ground up. But everything he's doing is really like self-made. He's had different opportunities and TV shows and things, but like if you look at even someone at his level, he's pretty much creating his own content. He has his own podcast. He's doing all these different things pretty much through the Bert Kreischer brand. It's not like he's really like, oh, I got this TV show that's now springboarding me into something else. It's really all Bert. Yeah,
it's not Seinfeld. It's something that like people go, oh, I just like this guy.
Yes.
And I just want to see more of him doing anything.
Exactly. And I feel like I don't feel like comedy is booming, and there's a better opportunity than ever for comics like us, like people watching us here, to start to create our own success. And I'm really kind of challenging that thesis with this comedy special, because I really do believe we're at a time in comedy where everyone is seeing like the quote famous people blow up, but people have never been more thirsty and hungry for comedy. So I feel like at whatever level you can start to create your own brand and your own voice, whatever level that is, I think this is a great opportunity to do it.
And do you think kind of like going back to the special, do you think that it's kind of an opportunity for you to be like, okay, this is kind of part of me getting into the place where this is getting me closer to my goal. Like now that I have a special, I can maybe sell this to whatever. I can sell this to CISO. No, I can sell it to...
CISO! They're going to play it on Laserdisc.
Yeah.
That was such an inside comedy, right?
I know.
People that watch this know
CISO.
Yeah,
that's exactly. I'm like, there's a place to use this reference now. But like, is that part of the goal for you? Is it to be like, okay, well, this will springboard me into the next thing. Now that I have a special, I can sort of, maybe I can. I mean, I think you've already headlined a few times.
Yeah, I've been headlining a lot. Like part of my goal in 2019 was to do my own tour. So in 2019, I've headlined more than ever. I did my own headlining tour. I've been on the road a lot this past year. So it's been a good opportunity to start developing new material as well as the specials coming out.
All right.
But it's been like, I would say, headlining is the big goal. Starting a new hour is the big goal. But I feel like with this special and the investment I've made into it, the goal isn't to sell it to like a Netflix or to sell it to get onto a different platform. I really want to, with this special, all just independently.
Just build an audience.
Just build an audience from it, ground up. Kind of like, the perfect analogy, Andrew Schultz. How Andrew Schultz is really, nobody bought his special. He's like, screw it. I'll just release it on my own and build my own success. The same idea where he built an audience, he built a network. On this formula, he's been able to put content through. So the same thing I'm trying to do with this comedy special is show comics, like, I like you're asking these questions too, the nuts and bolts. How do I get a audio engineer? What is the setup for video and all that? Like, pretty much showing comedians the blueprint that they can just go plug into their own comedy career.
Right.
Oh, this is how you get an engineer. This is where you find a venue. Hey, this is how much I'm expected to pay. This is how to market it. And just let them do it. Kind of like Andrew did with kind of social media and the YouTube game. I want to do that with comedy specials.
Right, and like the thing that I've always thought is weird is that like sometimes when someone comes across something that works, they go like, well, just don't tell other people about that because then they're gonna take the
right.
But I've always been like, people are gonna watch something if it's good.
For sure.
No matter, like, people are gonna watch your thing and their thing.
Yep.
And it doesn't. I don't think you taking away is gonna take away from theirs or or vice versa.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So I didn't word that quite as the way.
Leave it in.
Leaving it in, but
leave it in.
Oh man.
People like the raw, man.
That'll come out separately.
only
yeah.
Because I left it all in on the comedy special. Like, I came out initially.
Yeah, I saw the trailer where you left in the part where the guy was messing with the audio thing.
We had a camera that we wanted like on the stool that would show the audience from a cool angle, but it wasn't set up. So I walk out and I was like, oh, that's not there. Hey, let's go ahead and reset. Get the camera out here, and it shows like that whole like we left it all in. I forgot my jokes at one point. Left it all in.
That's great. I think that's hilarious because that's actually what you'll see if you watch someone do an hour. At a club.
Yeah, man. That's wanted to show that raw, authentic comedy special experience. Everything's so polished now, and in these huge, unattainable, like 10,000 seat theaters, it's like, no, this is what stand-up comedy is. Right. It's a room of 60 people laughing for an hour. The comic isn't perfect. He's hilarious, but he may stumble, but you're going to have a good time.
And that is actually a good lead into the question that I was going to ask, which is that, you know, the production side of everything, like you sort of stumbled upon having a audio and video person. For someone that maybe hasn't quite made those connections but might be ready to record an album or even a special, how would you recommend maybe going about that?
I think just do research into who's doing what you want to achieve. So, like, for me personally, I was like, I want to release a special independently. Let me Google who's done that or who's done an album independently. And I Googled pretty much like how to release a comedy album independently, and then you'll find all these different resources and blogs and Reddit feeds all about it that you can then see who's done it, reach out to them directly, and just ask them questions. I've learned through this process, people, especially in the comedy world, we want to help each other. We want to see each other succeed. So when you reach out to someone who's done what you want to do, it's like, hey, I'm so-and-so with this goal. What did you learn through your process? The good, the bad, the ugly. And if you're looking for like someone to actually hire, if you want to release an album, think about who are your favorite comedy albums, and then look at who produced that comedy album, then reach out to that person. Or was it a record label that released the comedy album? Reach out to that record label. It's a good idea to just look at who's already done what you want to do or who is currently doing what you want to do, and just reach out, ask them questions.
Okay. And then I guess when it comes to actually promoting the special, clearly this is one of the ways you're helping promote it.
For sure.
Is you know, just kind of reaching out to people and, you know, just trying to find every audience you can. But like in terms of promotion, which personally I think that's something you're good at.
Oh, thanks, man.
But how would you?
What do you mean? What do you mean I'm good at promotion?
This is the man. This is the man for merch. I still wear my comedy game show T-shirt all the time.
I love it, man.
But so as someone who's like you have several products that you know in terms of like the comedy game show and now the special. How do you go about promoting those things so that people actually see it and find it?
I think it's really just staying top of mind. So just keep reminding people. So, for instance, I learned through my research in releasing comedy albums, a big piece of feedback I got was you want to make sure there's like a pre-order. You want to make sure you give enough time for a rollout before you actually release it to build demand for the release. So with this comedy special, you know, I've set up pre-sale. I've been posting the trailer. I'm posting teasers and clips. I'm posting a vlog. So, like I said, the director followed me around for like 3 weeks leading up to the special. There's a joke that I want to do in the special where I talk about crying at my wedding. And it's so, the evolution of a joke is so interesting just to see, and I hadn't really seen it documented. So we just documented the evolution of me doing this joke for the very first time all the way to the actual special. So now it's not only interesting and it helped me in just terms of developing material for the special, but now it's extra content to then promote the special. It's hopefully people will see the vlog and be like, that's interesting. Oh wow, the joke has come so far this amount of time. I want to see the final product. I want to see what it actually looks like in the comedy special. So then hopefully it leads them to actually want to watch the comedy special. So it's just giving as many different avenues for people to find you as possible. Whether that's through a podcast, whether it's through the ATL comedy grind, whether it's through just word of mouth, all of it adds up.